जयपुर वाया कोटा।
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत।
ಲಕ್ನೋ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Bhattacharjya Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो।
There is a queue at the end of it all for KKR. They become the first team to qualify through to the playoffs of IPL 2024. Beat MI by 18 runs and notch up 18 points on the points table. It is a win worth remembering. They've done the double on Mumbai this season. They won at the Wankhede after 12 years and at a venue where Mumbai have a more dominant record. They showed Mumbai what they're all about this season. It looks like it's going to be Kolkata season. Will it not? For now, though, they can sit back, celebrate, smile and make merry, Joy.
Absolutely. And to have a comeback like that where most of your personnel remain the same. I mean, the only real change has been Salt and Stark hasn't contributed, and Salt definitely has.
Yep.
But the sea change in attitude, the way they've played the game, the way their spinners have bowled, the way their opening batters have played, it's been a complete, I mean, what a season. What an amazing
158 the target for MI, but KKR brought out the boa constrictor and completely sucked the life out of that chase. Mumbai, barring a couple of overs in the power play, just never looked like they were in the chase.
Yeah, but Mumbai was set, weren't they? What was it, 59 without
In the
loss?
power play, yes.
In the power play. So what, you had 11 overs to basically get 100 runs and
Yep.
all your wickets in hand.
Yep.
You know, at that stage, they were in the pound seats, Mumbai. You know, they'd taken that first over of Nareen. I think it had gone for 12. It was a sweeps, two sweeps.
Yeah.
One normal, one other one, and that was 12 runs of that over.
Yeah.
So at the end of that power play, they've got to be punching fists and going, yeah, we're in here, we've done exactly the start we're after. But the way they collapsed is what we've seen when teams have come up against Kolkata. All of a sudden, Chakravarti came on, he strangled an over. Nareen came back on, he strangled another two. And they just squeezed Mumbai. And to understand that you've got an international batting line up there, basically. Lots of experience in the middle order. So to be able to do that over them, yes, they're not full of confidence, they're not playing real Wazasad. But that's another quality performance. They did a good job of squeezing them when they played at Wankhede Stadium, because that wasn't the biggest score they had to defend there. And once again, they've done brilliantly.
There were a lot of balls that went more height than distance. Did KKR understand the nature of the pitch better in the second innings?
Yeah, I think they did. I wasn't overly impressed by the seamers, as I mentioned in the Cricbuzz. There was a couple of deliveries which I think they just needed to go orthodox, almost test cricket, where you hit back of a length, the ball was standing up, there was movement.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that 5 no ball wide, or whatever you want to call it. A couple of leg stump flicks of Ishan Kishan, where it was juicy half volleys.
Yeah.
And that's why Mumbai were looking in the pound seats. But as soon as the field was able to spread, that's almost when Kolkata came into their own, because they started to hit better areas, they started to show much more control, and that was when the squeeze began.
Now, despite scoring 59 in the power play, Rohit Sharma was very much there. Despite his struggles, at the end of the power play, MI would have fancied themselves.
They would have fancied themselves. And I actually thought Ishan Kishan batted beautifully, because he took on the responsibility of taking on Sunil Narine. He knew that Rohit Sharma was not going pretty well. So if you look at that, I mean, the way they batted at that point in time, you know, that 59, it was really, in not easy conditions, really good batting. But then once they started losing wickets, and Nishank was a crucial one, because remember, when Rohit and he were there, he was the aggressor.
Yep.
Once he went, Surya walked in, which is very rare. He normally doesn't walk in that early. But he walked in there because they thought they probably, you know, take use of the ball as long as the ball is hard and, you know, before the wicket deteriorates any further. But even he couldn't get going. And that's a rare thing. For Surya to bat at under 100 is a rare thing. So the two of them just got stuck. 3-4 overs of spin, and by the time they got out of it, they'd lost a couple of wickets, the momentum was gone.
I think if you also look at Surya, I mean, you would class him as a good player of spin. And a man who's coming off a big score in his last outing. So it's not like he's not in form.
Yeah.
But for him not to be able to get that going either, I mean, have a look there, what did he, 11 or 14?
Yeah.
You know, I just think it's a brilliant effort. I mean, Tilak Varma, nothing wrong with his performance, 32 of 17.
Yep.
But as you look down there, Hardik 2 of 4, Tim David 0 of 3, Badara 3 of 3. That was kind of when the squeeze was happening after the damage had been done of picking up some wickets. So a brilliant fight back by KKR.
Now, in a chase where you're almost looking at 10 and over, 158 to win in 16, Rohit Sharma, strike rate of 79. Now, all of us are Rohit Sharma fans, but questions need to be asked of our experts on what was happening in that innings. It was difficult to believe for any Rohit Sharma fan.
Yeah, he was struggling to time it. He was really struggling to time it. And what was, for me, against spin, it was really quality spin. And he's never had the best of times against Sunil Narayan.
Yeah.
But I think that's the point. He was just, and you could make out that he's a great, great batter. He was frustrated with himself. It was not happening. And it was almost, he was trying difficult shots almost to say that, he was getting reckless just to get off the mark, to sort of change something, and it just wasn't working for him. It's one of those days. Look, he's a class bat. It's one of those days, a combination of very unfortunate circumstances, the pitch doing well for the bowlers bowling really good lengths.
Yeah.
But he'll be really disappointed by what happened today.
One of the great privileges of my life here at Cricbuzz is that I get to be a fly on the wall with a lot of these legends, talking technique, talking mentality, talking psychology of cricket. And today there was this fascinating conversation between Shaun Pollock and Virender Sehwag. And you guys were on a roll, the two of you. I just wish we had a camera on the two of you. You guys were talking about how even at this level, technique can be worked on. It is a fallacy when coaches say, at this level, I can't teach technique. If you had to work with Rohit Sharma, what would you do? Or, let me just rephrase that. What should Kieron Pollard be doing with Rohit Sharma?
Yeah, it's a difficult one to quantify and work out, because I think it's got to do with the headspace that he's in. I mean, to be brutally honest, you get kicked out as captain, you're still going to play for Mumbai, but once your team's not qualified, is he in the same headspace as he'll be when he walks out to face Pakistan for India? Will he be as the intensity? Will he be thinking, this is my team, I need to perform, I need to lead them and play as best I possibly can? When he's playing for Mumbai, which kind of discarded him as captain, probably won't be there next year. They've been eliminated. I mean, I'm guessing, yeah. As a pundit, you've got to sometimes guess and kind of try and work things out. I don't think he's hitting it as well as he can. His options in the past, he used to use his feet, hit straight down the ground. Now he's looking for the option of a reverse sweep. Was the ball before? He tried a reverse sweep. Then he goes for the kind of paddle sweep, ends up popping it in the air. So I don't know if that's going to his strength. I think Rohit Sharma's strength is straight down the ground, and if he gets in the right spot, he can sweep nasty or slog sweep. But for me, I think he's a better player than having to fiddle. There are some guys who fiddle brilliantly and can do the different sweep shots. But I'm not too sure. I mean, I'm guessing, but I'm not too sure what kind of headspace he is in. I think when you see the Rohit Sharma at the World Cup, it'll be a completely different individual, because he'll be up for that battle.
I may be getting a bit too far ahead of myself here, but has Rohit Sharma played his last ever game for MI? Does he play the last game for MI against LSG? We don't know if he'll be back next season for MI.
Yeah, I think the odds are against him coming back next season for Mumbai, especially after everything that's happened. But what I do think genuinely is, because I think that even if they want him back, I don't think he'd want to go back at this stage in his career. But I think the last match, he's a soldier. I mean, his attitude would be, if you want me to play, I'll play.
Yeah.
If you don't want me to, I'm pretty happy to sit it out. I don't think it matters to him. If anything, he might be saying, let me play a game and play myself into a little bit.
Is the last game one, Kitty?
LSG, I'll find out.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I don't think
is at the Wankhede.
I don't think they need any more drama.
Yeah.
Don't do a drama and a big dramatic thing about Rohit doesn't play. Well, why would you do that? I think that would be managing the situation badly. I mean, you've already taken the captaincy from him. Just let him play his last game, and then you can make a decision.
I think he's asking whether Rohit would want to play.
Oh, whether Rohit would want?
Will he want to play? Or does he say, let me just take a break, press the reset button, spend a couple of days with family before I fly?
Yeah, 100%. If it comes from him and he wants to do that, then I can live with that. But if I don't want the Mumbai management to say, hey, we're leaving you out of the last game.
No, I don't think they would.
No, don't do that.
Not at the Wankhede, not at his last
That's
game.
why I asked where it was. I mean, if he's in that mental space where he says, listen, I prefer
not to
just give me a break. And it might be mentally, it might be nice for him. I mean, he might have an extra 3 or 4 days before he heads off to the States for the start of the World Cup. But if it comes from him, then I can live with it. But I don't want them to drop him. I don't think that's what he deserves.
spent a fair bit of time talking about Rohit Sharma. However, remember, it's a team sport. There are other batters that should have and could have done the job. Hardik Pandya today promoted himself up the order as was expected when that wicket fell, and he failed. Surya Kumar Yadav failed. Tim David, not a run. One of those guys should have put their hand up, Joy.
Yeah, they haven't really. And what I think what they were doing is, I know it seems as if, they were struggling. I have a feeling a lot of them were going too early, because this is not the kind of pitch in which you can slog immediately. And that's what you need to just check it a bit more. And I thought Tim David went too early. I felt Hardik Pandya went too early. And the moment you go that early, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. Yeah. You're putting a lot of pressure on the rest of the bat. So I think, look, in these circumstances, remember, the basics have changed. 10 and over, 12 and over used to be okay to chase in the last 5 overs. Now 14, 15 and over is an acceptable rate.
Yeah.
And therefore I felt they pushed the panic button a bit too early.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that you cannot do on a pitch like this. Yeah. You cannot come out here, not know where the ball is pitching or how much Varun Chakravarti is going, and just go for the first shot.
They were 92 for 4 after 12, and that means they needed about 66, I think, in the last 4.
Yeah.
Should be on in 2024.
Well, that's the thing. That's what makes them polished international finishers, is normally they hold their nerve longer than the opposition do, right?
Yeah.
So your point's so valid, Joyce. I mean, Naman, what did he hit off that one over? He hit 3 sixes, didn't he? And I mean, he's not an international star. So if they had abided their time and just stuck in there, hit a few shots along the way, they're the kind of guys who can be as destructive at the back end. I mean, you've seen Tim David hit 3, 4 sixes in an over. You've seen Hardik hit 3, 4 sixes in an over. So when you're in good touch, you back yourself. You think, well, it doesn't matter. I'll just hold out here. I'll hold my nerve. He who panics first end up losing these kind of encounters. So they just need to be calm and maybe just give themselves a little bit more time.
Yeah, in fact, that's the thing I was looking at. If you look at the overs, at what point do the spinners run out? The spinners run out in the 12th over. Okay? So 13, 14, 15, 16 is Andre Russell and Harshit Rana. They don't even go with Stark. They go with Harshit Rana.
And Russell did that pace-off thing really well.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, at some point, those 7 overs are over.
Yeah.
Okay? That means you still have 4 overs to take down whatever you have to. So if I'm Hardik Pandya, if I'm Tim David, I'm calculating 2s, 3s, whatever. Let me just keep going.
Yep.
Let me reach those last 4 overs. And I think they didn't.
Pretty good 16th over as well from Harshit Rana. And that meant that MI's journey ended in this match. They've got just one game to play now against LSG. But what was that 15th over from Andre Russell? They've won. You think they'll talk about that 15th over in the dressing room?
I don't know. I think they would. So for me, from the outside, right, I don't know what the tactics are or what's been discussed. But we've watched 30 overs, 16 and 14.
Yeah.
And people who've walked into the crease have struggled. When you've hit length, the ball seems to be a bit spongy, seems to be standing up.
Yeah.
You've got an island of opportunity where it's going to be difficult for that individual to come to terms with the pitch.
Yeah.
And no one walks in, his first delivery doesn't hit the pitch.
Yeah.
It's a low, shin half full toss. So for me as a captain, I'm going to Dre Russ and I'm saying, listen, the pitch has been hard to deal with. I want you to hit back of a length, test length, for your first 2 deliveries to him. I bet you won't get away. And sure as nuts, the last ball of that over was the only one that he hit length, and he ended up mistiming it totally, nearly got caught at third man, or the short third man. Yeah. The rest of them, which didn't use the facility, he happened away. So sometimes at that stage, that's where the clarity needs to come in. And that's where bowling coaches, captains, management on the side of the field, when you have these strategic breaks, you walk to your captain and say, listen, when a new guy comes in, it's been difficult. Make sure, hold your length for a little bit longer. Don't go for those full ones. And that little communication can win you matches, because that could have saved them 12 runs.
That apart, it was a pretty good day for the bowlers of KKR. Varun Chakravarti, 2 for 17 in his 4. Excellent bowling from Varun Chakravarti. Got Rohit, and I think he got Hardik Pandya's wicket as well. Once again, this guy is out bowling the likes of Yuzvendra Chahal between overs number 7 and 15.
No, Varun Chakravarti is absolutely superb. He had a run out today as well. I mean, Varun Chakravarti having a run out is one of the more rarer things. He's not known to be the fastest guy in the field, but he's clearly enjoying himself. And remember one thing, the business end of this tournament is going to be played in Chennai.
Yeah.
Okay. in conditions that Sunil Narayan and he would normally, normal Chennai pitch, they would salivate at seeing.
Yeah.
So I think that's one big thing in their favour. And one of the interesting things is I like the way they had Stark bowling up front.
Yeah.
Stark didn't come back at all. 1 over.
Well, just one. Gave away 11, yep.
Yep. Didn't come back at all. They trusted Vaibhav Aruna, they trusted Harshit Rana and Andre Russell to complete it. And Harshit Rana was absolutely superb.
What we would say about the Chennai pitch is that it hasn't been the Chennai pitch.
That is also
because Stephen Fleming's been moaning that it hasn't been our stock standard, what we're used to Chennai pitch. But maybe it will be for the
well, he'll get very angry if it's not the pitch for all these days.
And then for the...
But this augurs really well for Shreyas Iyer as captain as they head into the playoffs. With Varun taking wickets, Russell barring that 1 over, bowled all right as well, picked up a couple of wickets. Narayan is always a threat.
Yeah.
Without using all of Stark's overs, if they can do this...
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, you want your performance to come from different avenues. I mean, the key to knockout cricket is to have as many of the 11 in really good touch as they possibly could be by the time the knockouts come. So you've got 5 batters who feel like they're in good form, 4 or 5 of your bowlers.
Exactly.
But also, if you get the table up there, it looks like they're going to be finishing top 2. Because not only have they got to 18 points, if we had a look at their net run rate is really impressive.
Massive, it's plus 1.4.
Yeah. Exactly. So even if you've got the other guys, let's have a look at them. So Hyderabad are the only other team that can get to 18 with 2 victories. And their net run rate can't improve that much. So I would venture to say they've already guaranteed themselves a place in the top 2. And there's an opportunity for the bowlers.
They play GT and RR next. That'll be quite a clash, KKR-RR, which is their last on the 19th, I think.
Yeah, I think by that time, I think both of them would be top 2 teams under normal circumstances. But anyway, the kind of run rate they have, it'll be very difficult to displace them from that position. RR can go above them on 20, but I still think they won't cross them on run rate. Because the number of matches left, the more the matches happen, the more difficult it is to change on run rates. Because there's a larger number of matches to change over.
At one stage, though, at the start of this game, rain curtailed game 16 overs aside. They were in a bit of a spot, and then came a man who is now our Omni-Gel spray performer of the day, and he ensured there was no pain for the KKR fans with an innings that was played at a strike rate of 242 of 21. How crucial was that innings on a pitch that played the way it did in the second innings? Venkatesh Iyer was in the mood.
Yeah, for me, it's all about the timing. You're 100% right there, but he saved the day and relieved the pain. Because if they had looked to be just negotiating things and trying to just stick in there for a while, I think they could have got themselves into some big trouble. I mean, he ran at Bumrah the 1 ball.
Yeah.
There was a couple of great shots that he played under immense pressure, and someone had to show the nerve in order to take that attack to them, to put the pressure back onto them. And he was vital. I mean, that 200% strike rate at that stage and those 40 runs is more valuable than I think he's got credit for at this stage.
Iyer likes MI, and he is also now starting to be a bit of an insurance policy for Shreyas Iyer, because if Salt and Rain fail, there is Iyer.
Absolutely, and I think that's really important. What's happened is, with his performances, he's forced himself into that number 3 spot.
Yeah.
And that's a really important spot for them, because at that point in time, Ankrich has done well, he's looked good, but really the kind of performances that Iyer has given them at 4, at 5, at 6, they've been forced to say, okay, you are a crucial batsman. And I think there's one more thing involved, which is that if those two are going, then for anyone else to walk in when 80 or 90 has been scored is much easier.
Yeah.
But when they go cheap, you need somebody who will still be an aggressor, as he said, without waiting for a few overs to see things through. Because in this game, if you saw 2 or 3 overs gone in a 16-over game, they would have been 20 short.
Now, KKR faced a bit of flack online when they retained Venkatesh Iyer over Shubman Gill. Has Venkatesh Iyer now done enough to justify that retention?
I don't know if one innings or a couple of innings this season make it. I mean, I love Shubman Gill, love the way he plays, and in many ways they're not even really competing against each other, because I think at that stage Venkatesh Iyer had come off a good series in Dubai or in the UAE.
Yeah, they just reached
and he got picked for the World Cup, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, off that performance. So you can understand, but he was actually opening the batting. He's now shifted and playing a different role. So it's different. You've got to compare apples with apples.
Also, at that
they'll be happy with what they saw today.
Also, at that point in time, he was bowling. And they took him as an all-rounder as opposed to Shubman, who was just a batter. But he really hasn't bowled in the last 2
Okay, let me rephrase that question. Has he done well enough to get retained again?
I think this KKR team has a lot of retentions they need to look at. I mean, you're looking at Varun Chakravarti. Rinku Singh is a banker for a while who hasn't done too much for you this year. Shreyas Iyer is your captain. Okay. Sunil Narayan is ageless. Okay, let's forget whatever number you write at that, he's ageless. Andre Russell is as fit as he's ever been in his life.
One thing we will say is, right, the bottom 4 teams, it's easy to just find 4. The top 4 teams, it's very difficult to just find 4 because obviously they've had more performers and they're doing brilliantly well. Yeah. So it's there. They've got more headaches than I think the guys who are sitting at the bottom. I think they can easily come up with 4 and discard a lot more.
Iyer, KKR, Venki Mysore, Gautam Gambhir, Shreyas Iyer will worry about retentions and right to match cards a bit later. They can savor this win because Venkatesh Iyer played his part and became the Omni Gel Spray performer of the day. Ensured there was no pain for the KKR fans with this innings of 42 of 21. Now, 9 wins. They have a Q next to their name. But the good thing for KKR is that they found different heroes. There's been Salt, Naren, Varun, Venki Iyer, Shreyas Iyer, despite a not-so-great strike rate, has managed to finish games. So different people putting their hand up augurs really well.
Chakravarti
as well.
Don't forget his name. Yeah. He needs to be in that mix.
Lots of winners, lots of match winners.
Lots of match winners. If you look at last year, I mean, really, Chakravarti gave them a little bit and Rinku Singh gave them a lot. But there were not too many other distinctively great performers out there. Yeah. This year, you're getting a lot of hands being put up. And I think that's fantastic news for them. Because what happens is the law of averages will catch up. So the more players who are informed, the better off you are.
Yeah. Salt leaving, could that upset the balance, the mood, the dynamics, the mix? If yes, how do they ensure that it doesn't lead to a loss in the playoffs?
It definitely can, but in all honesty, you've got to have looked at it from a management perspective and you've got to be managing that process. It would be different if they didn't know he was going and he breaks a finger overnight and then he can't play. Yep. But they've known that this situation is going to present itself. So if there hasn't been work going on behind the scenes with Cricbuzz to give him as much match practice or middle practice and net practice as possible and to get them into the right frame of mind, then I'd be very surprised because they've understood that this would be the situation. Much like with Chenna, like the Fizz, they knew he was going. They know Josh Butler's going. So they're also going to be doing work, the RR behind the scenes, making sure that whoever's going to step up, what's his name? Cole Codmore.
Yep, Cadmore.
Cadmore.
From England,
yeah. I think he's the one that they've eyed as coming in. It will. I mean, of course it's going to affect him. He's had an unbelievable season and they would never expected it and they wouldn't want him to go because it's a wicketkeeper, which is a big role as well. Yeah. But I think they've had enough time to be able to prep and... In
fact, KKR have Sherfin Rutherford. We got that wrong. Cadmore is with the Rajasthan Royals. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He's come in place of Butler.
Yeah. Right. But Joy, as a Bengali yourself, as a former KKR man, are you getting glimpses of a repeat of 2014?
I just want to tell you one thing. Forget 2014 also. Take 2012. In 2012, Kolkata's first keeper for major part of the tournament was Brendan McCullum. Yep. McCullum didn't play the finals because, there was a problem with having 4 foreign players because Balaji got injured. Yeah. And Manminder Visla walked in and scored 89 or 49 in the finals and won the match for KKR. So there is also a precedent of a wicket-keeper opening batsman dropping out and somebody coming up and winning it for KKR.
What's the best possible solution in the no-Salt scenario? Can they maybe send an Agrish Raghuvanshi to open the innings with Naren?
Look,
or do they send Iyer up the order? What do they do?
So I think what they wanted to do with Nitish Rana is give him an opportunity today to sort of play himself into it. For me, still the easiest solution is to change as little as possible. For me, that means Cricbuzz going in. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's a straight swap. Cricbuzz for Phil Salt. Do not change anything else because you're doing so many things right now. You don't want to tinker around right now. I'd say just a straight swap. Cricbuzz, here you've got 2 matches. Do what you have to.
Like for like. Don't change roles. Don't get someone who was batting at 4 to go and open or who was batting in a different position. For me, it would make sense. Keep everything else settled, like for like.
And the same license that is with Salt needs to be passed on to Cricbuzz as well. Exactly. Just go out there, no fear.
Sit them in a room and let them have a cup of coffee and say, listen, what's your mindset been, Mr. Salt? Please tell Mr. Cricbuzz, and off we go.
Yeah, well, KKR need to stay cool. Tonight, this win wasn't short of some cool moments, and so we shall talk about the carrier room air conditioners, coolest moments of the match. Now, there were quite a few. the nominees. That in-swinging Yorker from Bumrah to
That's my
Narine
one.
it was.
Definitely my one.
The one run out, you won't talk about that six that Ramandeep hit, will you?
No, I'm still sulking about that.
Big one for you. Why?
Because I lost my point. My first. I could have got off the mark. I could have got my first little single. Sad
Which
day.
one's your coolest moment?
The bowling, the Yorker. That's
Yeah.
my one, definitely. I mean, I talked about the tactic will be, Bumrah will be looking to try and shape it back at Narine, try and trap him in front or get under his feet. And then just that delivery, and then he thinks, oh, it's going to miss my stumps totally. I mean, shoulder arms, clean bowled. It was just a cool moment for me. I was expecting the Yorker and it came right through.
I know which one you were picking, sir.
Ramandeep
hitting that last ball six. Oh, Bumrah. Okay.
Wow.
You come in, you walk, think, Bumrah, he'll get a single, maybe a couple. Hits it straight back over the bowler's head for six. I mean, that was absolutely spectacular. Again, great intent by young KKR boys, Ankurich, Ramandeep. The way they've played their cricket, they may not win every day, but the way they played their cricket is something that shows that the team has given them that opportunity and said, go do your thing. And the kind of catching Ramandeep has done in the deep for KKR has been absolutely spectacular this year.
Right, we've got a few entries for this one from a couple of our viewers as well. Let's take a quick look at what their pick of the carrier room air conditioner's coolest moment of the match is. Ankit Barnwal seems to agree with Shaun Pollock, says, boom, boom, Bumrah getting one of the top form players, Narine, on the first ball Yorker, leaving him leaving him numb is what Ankit's trying to say. What's the other one? The next one that came in, Kolkata plus Gautam Gambhir equals playoffs with zero sweat. Looks like GG is their lucky charm, Joy.
Yeah. GG, you mean?
Yep, GG is their lucky charm, Gautam Gambhir.
He's much more than their lucky charm. He's much more than just their lucky charm. He's one of the most astute cricket brains who understands Kolkata, understands Sunil Narine, understands Andre Russell, and understands how to work with winning teams. I mean, he's very important to them.
I believe we've got one more, not just two, in fact. Let's take one more. I'm sure it's one of the KKR fans. Shaurya Pandey reckons it was the spin duo of KKR, Varun and Sunil Narine that just tightened the screws. And that was Shaurya's carrier coolest moment of the match. Today was, of course, about Venki Iyer doing his bit, that big Yorker as well from Bumrah. That was a memorable moment. But there you are. You got our experts to tell you what their pick for the carrier room air conditioner's coolest moment of the match was. A big win for KKR gives them the cue. There are 3 more spots up for grabs. Big double-header day coming up on this Sunday at the IPL. Which one is the first game? It will feature the 5-time champions, the Chennai Super Kings. They will be up against the other informed team, the team in the pink of health, Chennai versus Rajasthan. That's the first game now. Chennai have won just 6, RR have won 8. Chennai, it could go pear-shaped for them if they don't win. It's a must-win for them as well.
It's a must-win for them. It's a must-win for them. They've got to put their game together. And this is a rare Chennai team. It's a Chennai team which you don't hear of very often, who don't know their batting order or who don't even know their best team. Their bowling has been decimated because of injuries and withdrawals, injuries.
Yeah.
Some they knew of, some they were not aware of. Then Pathirana they lost. They expected to leave Mustafizur out, but not having Pathirana has been a big blow for them. Losing Chahar has been a huge blow for them. So yeah, lots of problems out there. So they'll be looking to try and put things together and somehow get this across the road.
Chahar uncertain, Fizz gone, Pathirana gone as well. The batting isn't working. They don't have too many options for Rahane either. And he isn't scoring runs. So, Paulie, what do you do with that top order?
Yeah, Rachin Ravindra, I think he'll be fine. He got run out in the last game, but they've got to keep backing him. I think the key is actually, for me, in this whole performance that they're going to have to do is going to be the surface.
Yep.
We saw the last game where I think Jadeja bowled 1 over, Santner bowled 1 over, and they disappeared.
Yep.
Whereas they've been able to rely, much like Kolkata have, on their 2 spinners over the years.
Yep.
So if they get the right surface, they can be a handful. They have those middle overs dictated. Moeen Ali can even bowl a few overs and try and play his part. But I think they will be hoping, all hopes, that Rachin Ravindra, he got run out in the last game, wasn't really his fault, that he can kind of find some form.
Any changes for Chennai in that batting order? Not too many options.
Not too many options. And I think that's what they've done. They've now said that we are going to go with domestic bowlers and in international batting order. Then, just lengthen their batting order a bit. Santner is also playing. So what they're looking for definitely is spin. Okay, left arm spin is going to be important because there are a lot of right-handers in the upper order of Rajasthan.
Yeah.
And they'll just hope for a surface that gives them a little more than the last.
But that could work against them with Chahal and Ashwin for RR.
It could, but in all honesty, Ashwin probably hasn't had the strike rate. He's done a decent job, but hasn't had the strike rate. And if you have a look at Chahal, Chahal's wickets have all come at Rajasthan when they've been playing at home in Jaipur.
Yeah.
His performance away from home hasn't been that good. He enjoys the bigger boundaries. Yes, I think he would be a handful, but I think they'd back themselves, to be brutally honest, that their two could maybe outbowl those two.
They'll be fired up. They've lost 2 consecutive games for the first time this season. Now with KKR having notched up their 9th win, they'll want to catch up and win their 9th as well tomorrow.
Yeah, Rajasthan will come hard, and Chennai is fighting for survival. They're also looking at what could possibly be the last season for Dhoni. So lots going on there. But this Rajasthan team is a very set team. I think they know what they want to do well. They know what they don't do well. And I think they've got enough strength out there. Batting order, I mean, if Hetmyer is fit, I still feel Hetmyer is a better option for them than Donovan Ferreira. I'll be interested to see whether they keep Hetmyer out again.
There's also Mr. Cadmore that you mentioned earlier today.
Yeah, but I think they'll wait Kolkata here to replace
Butler
at the top. I think a little curveball here might be Keshav Maharaj. They played him in a few games when they found that their surfaces.
Good call, very good
and
call.
I haven't been overly impressed what I've seen from, obviously Hetmyer got left out. Donovan Ferreira just played the one game, got out cheaply. So they could go to the international because they don't have a left arm spinner. So they've obviously got the leggy, the offie. And if the surface dictates, you might just see them play the extra spinner. They did it already, twice, I think, in the tournament. They've done it, yeah.
It's a really good call. It's a really good call. I tend to agree. Keshav Maharaj is probably their best option. He can bat a bit. He's a decent bat.
Players to watch out for very quickly.
Who are we going to go for? I'm Rachin Ravindra. I really want to see. He's had the disappointment of not being part of it, and now he gets run out. How he comes back, I think, will dictate terms for Chennai.
Yep.
And for the Rajis, I want to see how Trent Bolt goes. I love Trent Bolt, and I want to see if he can. We've seen swing. Chahar and Deshpande have swung the ball beautifully in Chennai. Yeah. I want to see if he can get some shape and get some early wickets.
For me, Shivam Dube is vital. He's just, I mean, when he's played well, they've won.
Yep.
And when he's not managed to hit form, they've lost. So I think Shivam Dube is vital. He gives them that power in the middle order because Dhoni can't bat more than 7, 8, 10 balls because of the state of his knees. And I think if you look at the other side, for me, again, Sanju Samson, the captain, because he's really mature, plays conditions really well. And what he's been doing is seeing what the other batters been doing and adjusting around it. He's critical to that team.
RR looking to get back to winning ways. Chennai find themselves in a must-win scenario. They're at 12 points. They've played 12 already. If they lose tomorrow, it could pretty much mean curtains. So that means it opens the doors for teams like Virat Kohli and Faf du Plessis, Royal Challengers Bangalore. Right, that's the second game of Sunday. It's RCB versus DC at a ground that is a graveyard for bowlers. Now, then RCB have won 4 in a row. Is there a happy, sensational twist in the tail in the offing for RCB?
Yeah, they'll need other people to do a bit of doing for that tail to happen, for them to reach with 14. But I think they've done amazingly. And again, what happens? We've all spoken about them having this huge power-packed batting order up front.
Yeah.
And it didn't work in the way we thought it would, but it's really come to fire.
Yeah.
And see, the advantage of that is that you need only 2-3 parts to fire. I mean, right now, it's Virat Kohli and Rajat Patidar alone literally who are propelling them forward.
Yeah.
But even those two have enough to give them a chance.
There is a chance of rain tomorrow. So if the game does get rained out, RCB will get knocked out. So they need a full game or at least a game to happen. How crucial is the toss? Win the toss chase for RCB in Bangalore?
Yeah, I think they'd become for they've enjoyed it and they won nicely chasing in the last encounter. There you can see them on 10 points. That's why if they get to 13, then they can only get to 11, they can only get to 13. So that will kick them out. They'll be hoping that doesn't dictate terms. I think Delhi have been good as of late as well. They've started to click a little bit. I heard Rishabh Pant might not be playing, banned.
Yep,
he's banned.
Akshar Patel to captain.
Which is a huge blow for them because I think he can be mightily destructive on that surface. But I'm looking forward to this encounter. I think it's fueled with... they've all got a bit more energy in both squads because they've started to play better cricket, even if it is a little bit too late. And they know what an important encounter this is. This is going to give them a lifeline or it's going to kick them out.
How big a loss is it going to be for Delhi not having Rishabh Pant?
Huge. It's a huge loss. It's a psychological loss more than anything else.
Yeah.
He's a dynamo in the field, the way he carries himself. As a batter, he's a destructive batter up front. So the others will need to come to the party, but I think they have power. And, for me, their best hope is, if you look at it the way they're going, I'd just, take this opportunity and give somebody like a Prithvi Shaw a chance because they have enough keepers. They're not worried about his keeping abilities. They have enough keepers in the squad.
Yeah.
I'd just give Prithvi Shaw a license to kill and go out there and send him there. Keep the
There's
rest of the
Porel who
keepers.
can keep, Stubbs can keep. There's Kumar Kushagra as well as an Indian option.
Yeah, but I'd go for Prithvi Shaw simply because then those top three, you just move a couple of players around, McGurk, Prithvi Shaw, Shai Hope. Keep the same shape of your team, which has done so well for you, with Stubbs sort of finishing for you. I think that will work for them.
Changes for you?
They might only consider one of those international bowlers for me. I think it's a hard surface. It really is a difficult pitch. So if they feel like one of those guys has got some good skills, I mean, even Jai Richardson, we haven't seen much of him. He mixes it up in the middle of the surface. We've seen some firepower work there, so maybe Nokia. So that would be my only option. But I think those other bowlers have gone pretty well, so they might not be tempted to make any change.
For RCB, though, once again, a small ground, do they maybe look at bringing in a Vijay Kumar Vaishak in on a small ground, picked up a 3-wicket haul last year at this very venue?
See, for me, the simple thing is RCB's finally found a way to win. They will not change unless you put a gun to their head.
Yep.
I think it just works. And, Karan Sharma has worked his way into the team. Swapnil Singh has done well for them, bats a bit as well. This is the balance that has worked for them. They wouldn't mess with it now.
I think they would have considered it if Lockie Ferguson hadn't gone as well as he did in Dharamshala. I was really impressed by him. So now that they've got him in, I don't think they're going to change that.
All right, that is the end of that. However, we do need players to watch out for. One each, RCB, DC.
For me, DC, really vital player again. Jake Fraser-McGurk up top of the order.
Okay.
I mean, he's just so destructive for them. And on a surface like this, if he gives you a start, he bats for 7-8 overs, he can change the game. The other side, Rajat Patidar, because he's batting beautifully.
Yeah.
I mean, he's at the peak of his abilities. And for me, he's even more destructive than Kohli because he comes and he takes on spin at a time when a lot of the other batters are under pressure.
I'm going to go Cam Green for RCB. I think he's going to have to play a part with the ball tomorrow.
Yeah.
That bounce that he extracts on that Bangalore surface, we saw it in the last game that they played there. He's going to be important. And if there is a bit of a wobble at the top of the order, he's going to have to stabilise things with the bat. And then, Delhi. Who am I thinking of? Tristan Stubbs. As a South African, I love the way he played. He's kind of gone a little bit off the boil, but I wouldn't mind seeing him get out there on the surface and strike it as good as he possibly can.
There you have it, a very comprehensive preview by these two gentlemen. We asked you a slightly tricky question exactly 5 hours and 10 minutes ago. Joy factor. I still haven't been able to crack it. Joy, all yours.
Okay, very international, very interesting character. This is actually somebody from Launceston in Tasmania, which has produced 3 World Cup Man of the Match winners, one small town in Tasmania. But this is not one of them. This is a 4th person. This is George Bailey, who captained Punjab. He's known as Hector. He captained Punjab. And he has also one other very interesting record. He's one of the few players who walked in to play his debut T20 match as captain. So, very few people have done it. Lee German has done it.
He's been around, right? Delhi, Punjab.
Yeah,
was he in
mainly
RCB
Punjab,
as well?
Yeah.
Who did he captain?
Punjab.
Oh, was it Punjab?
Punjab.
Yeah.
Punjab, in fact, in 14, in that big year.
How close did you come?
I thought, no, clueless. I thought you were going to say one of the rare things. He's one of the rare cricketers to face square leg and play straight. He used to have that ordinary, unorthodox stance, didn't he? We had one stage where he kind of looked this way and then...
The other one, of course, being Shivnaren Chandrapur, right? Wow. Okay, now then, we've also managed to convince Joy to ready a victory speech.
What for?
You got 2 predictions right, Joy. I'm lucky for you.
Yes,
in the
you are
studio.
Thank you.
2 in a row. Wow. Joy has been on an absolute roll, and so has Gaurav Kapoor down there in the Hindi studio. Joy is at number 5. Virender Sehwag is at number 6. Joy, do you see any changes here? Is there going to be a late surge from your friend Mr. Bogle? Lisa Sthalekar is pushing as well.
These are, as I said, it all depends on where it comes off the bat and what kind of surfaces you bat on. So, no predictions here. The other predictions are much easier.
But Ramandeep saved the day for you.
Ramandeep saved the day for me. Sorry, Polly.
I'm moving on.
Oh, we haven't yet announced the name of the winner of Joy Factor because he's got to get a hello from you. Shobit Saxena, well done.
Well done, Shobit. Well done. It was not an easy one at all.
Right, it's been a fun day. Congratulations to KKR fans. Commiserations to MI. There will be another day when you can celebrate a better performance. They do play their last game against LSG. Tomorrow is a big double-header for all of us here as well. At Cricbuzz, we will see you live at 3 p.m. in English and Hindi. It's very late in the night. Go get some sleep. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲು
Hyderabad Superfast Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दें